the standard language and vernacular language. If you look at a language, for example, English language is spoken by so many people living in so many countries, let's say, not talk about within a country. For example, people living in England speak English, people living in America speak English, people living in Australia speak English. So all these people are English speakers, but they speak one language. However, if we listen to them, we find them that they speak of, let's say, English people living in Britain is different from the speech of the people living in America and so on. So we on the basis of these differences, we say that these are varieties of English language. People speaking in England use a variety of English. People speaking in America use a variety of English. And on the basis of this, we can imagine that all the people who use English as their mother tongue use English language, especially in a variety. So they are actually different varieties of English language. So a standard language is a variety of language that is used by governments, in the media, in schools, and for international communication. So in this regard, when we can say that this standard variety is different from other varieties being spoken in a country. For example, we can say that in Britain there is a standard variety which is different from the speech of the people living in different parts of Britain. And this variety is used for governmental purpose, it's the language of the politics within the country and outside the country. It is the language of education, and it is also used as a lingua franca, international lingua franca. It is used for international communication. So anyone coming to England or anyone coming from England to any other country will be interacting with other people of language in this standard variety. So different standard varieties of English in the world, as I said, we have British English, which is a variety, standard variety. North American mean the American English, then Australian English and Indian English. Though it is not a native variety, but it is different from the English being used in America or being used in Britain or being used by the native speaker. It has become a variety. So when you will study different Englishes of the word, you will study the differences of native and non-native varieties of a language or English. Standard variety, it's an idealized variety because it has no specific region. So this is the type of variety which has no region, which is used anywhere in the world, and it is same in one country or the other country. So standard variety is different from other varieties. Associated with administrative, commercial and educational center, printed in newspapers and books, used in the mass media regardless of region. As I said, it is used with politics, administration, education, newspaper, books, etc. More easily described in terms of the written language, vocabulary, spelling, grammar than the spoken language. So in standard variety, we can say that there may be some difference in the spoken version of this standard variety, but so far as the written variety or a standard variety is concerned, the vocabulary, the grammar, and the spelling, they are the same. They remain the same. There is no difference. Wherever we go, we find the same vocabulary, spelling, and grammar. Contrary to the standard variety, we have a vernacular variety. A vernacular or a variety or a language is the native language or native dialect, usually colloquial or informal of specific population especially. So This is the variety of the particular speech community living in a particular region. So when we are talking about the speech of a certain group of people living in a certain region, so for example, in London, so we can say that it's a vernacular. It is distinguished from a literary national or standard variety of the language or a lingua franca. It is different from the standard variety used in the region or state inhabited by that population. It's used by a specific group of people living in a specific area in a certain country and spoken by the ordinary people of a country or region. So, ordinary people use this language. So, there is a difference that standard variety has no region, whereas vernacular variety has a region, and it is used by people of a certain group living in a certain area. So, these are two different varieties of the same language.